Hey, it's Austin Bach doing my second Khans of Tarkir draft. So here we have an interesting pack. We've got an Abzan Ascendancy, which is possibly the best Ascendancy, as my computer lags quite a bit. I think I'm going to take it here. My last video I talked about how I prefer to take monocolored cards first, but I do think this is powerful enough to warrant taking it early over something that's not nearly as good, because that was a pretty weak pack. Let's see what we followed up with. It's looking like either Chief of the Edge or Debilitating Injury, and possibly the dual land in consideration there as well. It's actually kind of close between these two, to be honest. I think I prefer the Chief of the Edge by a small margin, just because I enjoy drafting this deck and I kind of know what pieces the deck needs to work. Debilitating Injury is definitely more flexible, it goes into more decks, but given that we kind of already know that we want to be an Abzan, like, we can start to consolidate ourselves into black-white, and even though I'm not gonna take it for the reason that we would not be sending a signal, that is a very tiny consideration in this scenario. Normally I wouldn't advocate passing a card or taking it because of the signals you're sending, because generally that's less important than reading what signals you're receiving. But yeah, I'm just going to take this and follow it up with a Seeker of the Way, I think. This guy is a warrior, and he's one of the better white 2-drops, and I'm a fan of my 2-drops being good in a aggressive deck. And other than that, I've seen this card once in a sealed deck, and it was like not great. Like he played it in 2 different games. The first time he hit like some 6-drop, and the next time he like hit a 3-drop or something, and it was really bad. I don't think it's a very good card. I mean, in Constructed, I'm sure you can do some pretty busted stuff with it, but in Limited, it's just way too inconsistent. Also a Valley Dasher and a Mardu Warshrieker, which are pretty good in the red aggressive decks, but they're not for us. Let's see. Got a Timely Horde Mate, which I am a fan of. We've got a couple bears that we would not mind. See, that I really like the design of this card, Timely Horde Mate. My computer is having issues, but I enjoy that you can attack with like all your creatures. They'll most likely, like most opponents are going to want to trade for this thing, and then you can just Timely Horde Mate and bring it back. And he is a warrior, which is worth considering. Passing a Feat of Resistance, which is not very good, but I think Timely Horde Mate is a little bit better in the deck that we're trying to build. Similar to passing up on the Debilitating Injury, is that in the aggressive deck I value the creatures a little higher than tricks. At least the quality creatures like this. There's also a Throttle in that pack, which I would have liked, but I do like this card quite a bit. Well, the best card in our colors is Killshot. It's not a great card in an aggressive deck, so I'm not sure if I want to take it here or if I just want like a Bitter Revelation. Bitter Revelation, like, it's fine. It's like super slow. I like it in the like the Abzan or Sultai Mirrors, just to get ahead on cards. But in this deck, you kind of want to kill them before card advantage matters. So I'll take the Killshot as kind of a speculative pick. It might not end up making my cut, but ooh, Feat of Resistance. Happily take one now in a fairly weak pack. I've seen a couple of Secret Plans decks. Like, this is not a card I would have expected to be like a build around me, but if you just take every single morph in your colors, like even like Kintry Wardens and Dragon Eye Savants, and just play like a million morphs in this guy, get insane card advantage. I've been pretty impressed I haven't drafted it myself, but I've seen it do some pretty impressive things against me. So I respect that I'm passing this card, but I still think Feat of Resistance is the best card in the pack. And now we see pretty much nothing for us. Don't think I'm playing any of these, but I can see an argument for Venerable Lamassu out of the sideboard against like a super slow wall deck or something. I've been also impressed by the card Archer's Parapet, which we saw earlier in the pack. So if we play against that, we can consider siding into Lamassu, which is very hard for some decks to deal with. So here's an interesting decision between Mardu Hateblade and Rush of Battle. Both are very good cards for this deck. I think the Mardu Hateblade is a little bit better than the Rush of Battle, because this card can be like very dead sometimes, and I've been very impressed with the Hateblade. It's a warrior, and it trades with everything, and it's a very solid card. And then we get past a Rush of Battle, but I'm not sure if I want it over the Bondkin or not. I think I still want to take the creature over the overrun effect, but that could be wrong. We have we have 4 creatures right now. All of them are warriors. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. It would seem that I'm the only person drafting this deck right now, so I'm confident that we're gonna get enough warrior next couple packs that this is a worthy pick over the solid card, but it's not like the Bondkin is like so overtly powerful that we missed out on something here. And here's the Parapet again, but I'm just going to take the War Behemoth. Don't really want any of these, but I guess Dutiful Return could be an okay sideboard card. So the only non-white cards we have, ooh, I say that right as I take a Bondkin, but we only have the Ascendancy and the Chief of the Edge. Otherwise we're in like pretty much mono-white. I'd like to be straight black-white, possibly with a small splash for the Ascendancy, but I could even see cutting this if we don't get the fixing. Basically with the stick you just want your mana to be as solid as possible. We passed up on a Scourge Barons earlier in the pack, but that was like first pick and I haven't seen any good fixing since, so if I see something like a Sandstep Citadel in one of the upcoming packs, I'm going to value it pretty highly. I think I'm just taking the other end here. So Foil Ankle Shaker. It's interesting. Card's decent, but yeah. There's also an Armament Core, which I think is very good, and not sure if it might actually even be better than the other end in a vacuum, but I don't think that's the case. But I think it's one of the better 5-drops in the format, and it would be very good in our deck. But like I said, I'm not 100% sure we're going to be playing green. It's also Suspension Field. It's actually just a very solid pack. There's lots of powerful cards in here. A lot of people are going to be happy with this pack going around. So I'm going to take the other end because we're guaranteed to play it, unlike the Armament Core. Although it's debatable which is better, but I still think other end gets the edge, even if we knew that we were in green. Pretty sure this card's not good enough. We have a Nomad Outpost, which is looking like the pick to me. Next best card is a Throttle, which would be good in my deck. We have one solid removal spell now. Killshot is kind of removal, but not in the sense that we want it, getting blockers out of the way. But I think I just want the fixing now, just to increase the chances that I get to play my powerful Ascendancy, which would, like, this isn't a green land, but it would allow me to play a couple basic forests if we pick up a couple more black-white lands. This is a decision I've had to make a few times, the Horde Chief versus the Skull Hunter in this black-white deck. So far I'm on the Horde Chief side of things. I think the Skull Hunter is very good, but Horde Chief is just a better card on its own if you're not triggering Raid, and the body's much more likely to be relevant in a world of morphs and whatnot than the Skull Hunter is. And getting 2 bodies is very relevant with Chief of the Edge and Rush of Battle. So I'm going to take the Horde Chief here. I think it's a slightly better card than Skull Hunter, but I'd be willing to hear an argument for either side. Nothing great for us here. I'll take a Rite of the Serpent. I'm fine having like one or two expensive removal spells in my deck. Just don't want to overload on them. Some very good cards in other colors. Aerostorm is probably the best card in the pack, followed by the Wind Scout. Wind Scout has impressed me a lot, by the way. Like, I don't think blue is very good in this format, but Wind Scout is one of the best commons. Like, miles better than all the other blue commons. But anyway, pretty clear that Red Serpent is for us. Now, this pack kind of sucks for us. Retribution of the Ancients is cute with the Absent Ascendancy, but it's not the pick, I don't think. I mean, I guess I could take it. It's a speculative pick. Maybe I end up with like an insane number of Outlast cards, but even then, I don't know if I'd want to play it. It's just not a very good card. But this pack is just literally garbage for us. Like, we could take a Dragon Scale boon in the optimistic chance that we end up with like 3 or 4 green fixing, and then I could play it easily, but I somehow don't see that happening at this point. Yeah, this is just, I mean, Molten Snakeskin's also a thing. I guess I'm more likely to play that, so I'll take it, but I'd very much prefer not to. So here we've got Defiant Strike, which I don't really like normally, but it is very good with the Seeker of the Way. And if we happen to pick up any more Outlasters, I could end up putting in some serious work, but I just don't think it's worth the slot most of the time. It's also a Bondkin, which I think is a little bit more likely to be good in our deck. We don't have a lot of top end at the moment. I try to avoid this card usually because there's lots of good things to do for 5 and 6 mana in this format, but given that we don't have any right now, I think I'll take it. Defiant Strike might not make our deck. I think the Bondkin's a little more likely. Ooh, now we have a couple options. Got the Defiant Strike again, but I don't think it's the pick here now. Between Rush of Battle and Unyielding Krumar, and I think I'm taking the Krumar. This card has impressed me. Like, this card plays way better than it looks on paper. And it's a warrior, so get some sick combos going. Now I'm just looking to lower my curve. Wow, debilitating injury, very late. 8th pick, that's insane. Yeah, like I said, I'm just looking to lower my curve, get some more 1, 2, and 3 drops. Technically the Krumars can be considered 3 drops, but they're also expensive cards. I just want to get some more cheap warriors and whatnot. I'm just going to take this Wind Scout. Don't think you really want to be hate drafting too much, but this card is just so good against us. Lamassu number 2. I'm just going to take the Salt Road Patrol. This card has also impressed me quite a bit. 5 toughness for 4 mana is actually huge, and it gets big enough eventually to get through all the walls and whatnot if you get through get into a board stall. It's a card, if anything else, that can go into our sideboard. So I'll take an Awaken the Bear. Again, if I, by some miracle of God, end up with a bunch of green fixing, I could play it. Don't really care about any of these. Okay, this thing came back. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pause here and be back to pack 3.